didn't think you saw me start it, so I was waiting. It was cute. Hello, welcome to Promise Resource Network. Welcome to the Sound of the Bowl. I'm Jane. Do you want to say who you are?
Oh, I'm Michael. I'm playing the soundboard right now.
This is Michael. He's playing the sound bowl, and this is Love Talks, where we will dive into and explore healthy relationships through healthy conversation, which means that we won't yell at each other.
On camera.
Well, that's true too. So I'm going to put the chat up. So if at any point you would like to share, chime in, add your 2 cents, please do. For real. Also, before we begin, are you moving back?
I'm good.
Okay. Watch your foots. And the camera zooms in. Oh, look, the blue matches your shirt. So before we begin, I would like to remind everyone about a couple of things. Thing one is we have a front desk. And if you are looking for more peer support, places, times that you can volunteer, or ways to get more support for wherever you are, please call the front desk. The number 704-390-7709. Do you hear that?
What?
You hear all that? That's cute.
It's just the notifications for this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It'll stop dinging soon.
So yeah, call the front desk if you are looking for more support, to receive more support, or even to be more of support. If you were thinking, oh, you know what, I really want to donate more to Promise Resource Network, and you just want to talk to a human, call the front desk. Also, while I have your attention, check this number out. So if you are thinking, I really just want to talk to somebody, like someone that's not necessarily my partner, or I'm wanting to talk to my partner and I don't know how to speak to this person because I'm feeling frustration or anger or whatever it is you're feeling, and you need and want a listening ear, please call the Warm Line. It's free. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The number is 833-390-7728. Call them. They're awesome and they love you and they have ears and they care. So that's what I wanted to share off the top, because sometimes I forget. So let me, are you laughing because I forget often?
Mm-hmm.
I do. And it's not because I don't care. It's like I have so many things that I have in my head, and then what comes out is really just what's in the very, very forefront. So I want to say hello to Tina, who's joining us. Tina cracks me up. Tina, you crack me up. Thank you. I want to say hey to Sean. Yay. You're coming to Charlotte in May? Yes, you should do whatever you want. I'm not shooting on you. That being said, I highly support and encourage you totally stopping by Promise Resource Network. Good stuff. Check it out. Yes. I want to say hello to Charles Quick. He has the emoji of the hand. That's why I did that. So check this out, y'all. You notice how red my fingertips are? Whoa.
What were you doing?
Nothing. So I had gone for a walk and my hands got cold. So the blood is like rushing back because I'm drinking my cup of tea because it's our Wednesday hump day ritual. Ding dong. I want to say hey to Joe. How are you? Oh, I'm so happy you're joining us. Tina says, all I said was hello. I know, and you crack me up, my friend. I'm just saying. So how are y'all doing tonight? Are you feeling okay? Are you grooving on all this sunshine? I don't know where you are, but like we have not had much sunshine except today and yesterday, and it's been life-giving. So much so that I'm like, I'll go outside and go for a walk, and it's so cold that when the blood comes back to my hands, I look like I've got little pads on my fingers. It's really weird. Are Michael's fingertips red? I don't know. Are they?
Nope. Ah. One hand is more red than the other.
Because you were sitting on the red hand. I found it very strange that you were sitting on your hand. I don't know. I didn't want to
When
question
does that
it.
happen?
You just do it all the time. You don't even realize it?
No.
Really?
Maybe I'm just trying to keep them warm. I don't know.
You don't really sit on your
No.
hand. You don't.
Thanks.
I think it'd be really funny though if you did. Yeah, I think it would be funny.
You sure you want to?
No, I'm not sure. I'm just saying.
Next time we're at a social gathering. What's Michael doing?
He's just sitting on his
He's
hand
sitting on
again.
his hands.
Again. No, just one. Not both of them. That would just be weird. You can sit on one though. That would only be kind of weird because it'd be half. Are you gonna try it now?
Yeah.
It's very interesting that you went to the back side.
As opposed to what?
Front side.
Hmm.
Technically, you're more on the side. Anywho. Sean says, women always realize something before we do, Michael. Yeah. Those third eyes. That's what it is. Speaking of third eyes, I want to talk about something intentional today. We usually do. So, Taro says he's feeling tired. It's been a long day. It has been a long day, man. You've been like going all day. I hope that this hour gives you a jolt and shot of energy just to get you through the rest of your evening. But for real. Frank. So this week I've been talking about self-love and selfishness. How does this look in our spiritual practice? Self-love. Today we talked about and wrote a really awesome love letter. If you haven't watched the creative time at 10 o'clock, from 10 o'clock today, I highly encourage it. And I posted the photos of the one love letter that we all collectively wrote. So 2 pages, y'all. And that's right, make up words when they get all junky. Right. We do that sometimes. And talked about self-love in the spiritual dimension. You know, what's the difference between being selfish and filling up your cup and being selfish and being self-absorbed and not giving of yourself to anyone else. Monday talked about plant medicine, which I think you have to love yourself to take the medicine from the earth, and it's this symbiotic relationship. So I've noticed, I think it was last night during expansions, and I mentioned this to you because you didn't get to catch it because you were climbing on the rocks. That just talking about different ways to show self-love beyond the realm of self-care, but truly into the realm of self-love. And it was just mentioned manicures and pedicures is a way to show love to self. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't had that literally in probably 10 years. Been a long time. And I had this epiphany. You gonna stop sitting on your hand now?
Yeah, I kind of give up on it.
Okay. And I had this epiphany during last night's episode when I was asking myself and narrating my thoughts live, you know, why don't I get a manicure, pedicure? Well, it's because I don't have the time. Oh, the money, it's the this, it's the COVID, it's the blah, 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 blah. And then it was like my higher self got real loud and said, do you just not love yourself enough to take the time to do it? And that was a really kind of loud question. And because Jane can't lie, I quickly answered it. No. To be honest, no. Because if I loved myself enough, then I would do what I wanted to do. I would do that. It's like Michael rock climbing. You do it because you love it. And because you love it, you give you that. You love yourself by allowing yourself to do what you love. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tina, it is indoor. That's why it's not
What did
too
she say?
cold. Isn't it too cold to climb rocks? Which technically it's not. People do this in all types of weather.
Mhm.
But you can answer more to that because
I don't know that much more about outdoor rock climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that it can be done.
I
in
stick to
cold,
the indoor type. Yeah.
right? So when Michael and I first started integrating, that's a great way to put that.
Is that what we're doing here?
I think that yes, we're integrating all the time. Yes. When Michael and I first started dating, rock climbing, like he had things that he did for him. He went rock climbing. That was all for him. He went to yoga. That was all for him. It worked out really well, but I do das yoga. And so we did it together. It kind of worked out really, really well. And then I didn't do the rock climbing thing until relatively recently. So I have a question because this is all building up to something. So stay with us, folks. When you and I first started dating, talking, whatever the words, relationshiping, and you would go rock climbing, did you continue to go with the same frequency at first, or did you cut back when we first started dating?
I think I cut back just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if I was going 4 days a week, I started going 3. Or if I was going 3, I started going 2.
Okay, but you
Or
didn't
maybe
like cut
3.
it out.
No, not really. I think the yoga got cut out more for sure.
Ah, okay.
Something had to get cut
Well, yeah.
because I kept myself busy between all the things, all the humaning, working, hobbies, meal prepping. There literally wasn't any free time. So for us to hang out, some things had to get cut.
Mm-hmm. And then, and I was like, I liked that. Like, I liked that Michael had one, his own hobbies and stuff like that. Moreover, I liked that he wouldn't stop doing self-love practices. Like, it's not like he was going out drinking every night, you know, he was going out to love himself just for him. And there was something very attractive about that. You know, it still is. But there's something I think really attractive about a partner that puts self first in a lot of ways. And then COVIDicus happened. And then the rock gym closed. And the yoga studios closed. I was definitely leading more yoga here and outside and stuff. But how did you change anything? Like, did you pick up another self-love thing when the rock climbing stopped, or did it just kind of like not?
Totally.
What did you pick up? What did you add?
We did it together. We started running at the Whitewater Center. And that's something that I continued whether or not you could make it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I would run at the Whitewater Center, run around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up running pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the runs, if I saw anything that I could climb, I would climb anything I could because I was rapidly losing, the hand calluses, the muscles from the climbing. And I wanted to try and keep up those muscles and calluses for when I went back to climbing. It didn't work.
Well, yeah.
Because the gyms didn't open for like 4 or 5 months. By that time, all my calluses were gone. My muscles had gotten a lot smaller.
But your hands were so smooth. I know.
But then what are they good for if they're smooth? They feel good on your skin.
Yeah.
Other than that, what else are they good for? They can't grip anything. Stuff just slides out of them.
You get butterfingers. Butterfingers.
Pretty much.
Butterfingers. I like that you didn't give up your self-love stuff, your self-love practices. You know that when you couldn't have one way of loving yourself anymore because of COVIDicus, you did another kind of form of self-love. So here's a question for you. Not you, even though you can answer it, but you kind of did. This is for y'all. If you'll answer, I would love it. If you are in a relationship, does your partner do acts of self-love on a regular basis? That's a question. Does your partner do self-love rituals, commitments, practices on a continual basis, whether it's daily, every other day, but something that's pretty steady? Because how many days a week would you do something in the self-love department? Like, I know you had like meal prep day, this day, that day, but like what, 4 or 5 days?
Probably every day of the week.
Every day? Okay.
Yeah. Because say there was a rest day, like say I didn't do anything on Sunday, that was still self-love. I was so tired from doing all the things all week that I would intentionally just not do anything.
That's a really loud point that I needed to hear just for myself. That if your partner chooses to do nothing because they need a break, that is a part of their self-love. So Joe says yes, that his partner does that. That's cool. So your partner has self-love practices. That's so cool. Because I want to get more into this. Tina says it helps when we have a when we have common interests, but it's important to try and continue the things we do for ourselves, even if our partner doesn't do or like the same thing. Yeah, that is so true. That's where I've had a challenge personally in my life in relationships. That right there. Big time. What?
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something to me. So yeah, do your partners have self-care, self-love practices that they do all the time? You know, I'm noticing that when I am not in relationship, I do so much more self-love stuff. OMG, so much more. Big time. Like, I'll take a bath more frequently. I take a bath now maybe once every
year.
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, like seriously.
It's usually when I'm like, hey babe, how about you take a bath sometime this week?
And then usually within a month I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I think I've taken 2 baths since we've been together.
Something like that.
2 or maybe 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been mentioned, many times.
Yeah.
About, try to keep the bathtub in working order.
Guest
in case you want to
appropriate.
take, guest appropriate,
Yeah.
in case, you want to use it or somebody else wants to use it.
Yeah, because.
And then it doesn't really get used.
Yeah.
Other than by me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very aware, totally aware, like self-aware. It's all great. Well, it's true though. But yeah, I used to do more. Did you read what Joe said?
I did. He's got a good idea.
Do you want to tell him about that time that you did that?
Did I?
You had gotten everything.
Oh, I got everything ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you walked in, all you had to do was like
get the water on.
Turn the water on. Yeah.
And what happened?
Did you not do it?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I wasn't here. I think I was rock climbing.
I think so.
I think I set everything up for you and then went rock climbing. Mm-hmm. And then when I came home, I said, "How was your bath?" And you were like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, because what I did instead, I did the need to things. I tended to something else that needed to be done. I tended to the list outside of me and didn't accept the gift of the facilitation for me to have a self-loving experience. Just says, boo, Jane. I know, man. Durr. I know.
That's interesting. I set up the thing for you for the self-love, so you wouldn't have to do things to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and did self-love. And while I was doing self-love, you chose not to.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very aware. That's why I think this is a really big topic for me anyway. Because something that I'm finding for myself, and Michael has I'm going to be real. I'm going to use these words and it's going to sound so aggressive, and it's not. Michael has totally gotten on me for this a good bit. Um, no judgment. Thank you, Joe. um, I will get up in the mornings and have my schedule. Michael has his schedule. And so I'll get up and I will start preparing breakfast. And I'll also start helping, like, get Michael's lunch together for work that day, and this and that and the other. I know he can fully do the stuff himself. Very aware. And there have been more times than not where he'll be ready to leave for work and then I am running late because I put his needs over mine. I stopped doing self love morning ritual things like getting up, meditating, doing some yoga, and took those self love practices and replaced them with being of service and enjoying being of service. Like I wasn't being grumbly, like I can't believe I'm making you breakfast. I actually enjoy it. You know, I actually enjoy being of service to my partner. And I realized that I was doing it at my expense. It's been great. It's been really great to realize these things because then it causes conversations that have been uncomfortable, I think, for us to have. Because, like, how's that been for you? Like, in the way you've realized it, communicated it, how you feel around it? Because it's like, I know you like when I do the things, and it's not like you don't appreciate it. And it's like you kind of want it all. Like, wouldn't it be great if I did all the self love stuff and I was able to do for you? Mm-hmm. But I can't.
There's a balance.
Yeah. Will you speak to this?
Sometimes I feel like, well, you already spoke to it, but I feel like you struggle to find the balance. I don't like to use the word struggle, but it's true. It seems like more often than not, you'll choose to do things to help me when you need to do something for yourself. And it'll be when I don't even really need the help. So it is truly appreciated. And it's great. And when I see that, I'm like, I want you to take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, then you can show up more for me in the relationship in areas where I really can use you. Like when I'm having a hard time one day, you know, and I need help because I'm stressed out and I'm feeling overwhelmed. And if you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed because you're not taking time out for yourself ever, then you can't be there for me when I really do need you because I'm super stressed out. You know, on the normal day to day, I appreciate all the help that you give. And that's not when I need the help the most. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. I think that that's where we've had a lot of like spaces to grow. It's an area that we've created a lot of spaces to grow because I find that like I do for others a lot and I like it. And I can't, I don't create enough time. I let my self-love practices, like my actual self-love rituals, like not that I don't love myself, but actually stopping and taking time to love myself and ask myself, like, what do you want today? What do you need, girl? What you want? Like, I don't even get to that point because I'm so busy putting everything else on the burners in front of my own. I think it's a very common thing in life. I think it's a really common thing in our culture. And it's a thing that I want to be really conscious about and not continue living in that paradigm, and to be able to have a communication between my partner and myself or any other relationship that I'm in that can support me giving myself what I need so that I can be there for whoever that I'm in a relationship with, like even if it's a friendship, you know? Tina shares that she makes some extra overnight oats, but if I don't do it, I drop my own self-love needs for that day. Mmm. Mmm. I do similar things. Like it's like I'll have a plan to do something for myself. And it's like if I fail at the one thing, or if I don't live up to that one thing that I committed to doing for me, then it's almost like, well, it's all out the window. I'm done. I'll just give of myself to everyone else. Martyr. I'm aware. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Thanks for being here with me, Tina. Charles says my wife reads a lot for her breaks and to recharge. That's interesting. Do you read for self-love?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I used to. I think it is and it's not. I think so. This is interesting. So the things that I read, the books that I read are like social justice books or how to change the world books or nerd books about science and stuff. Spiritual text. And I use it for like learning, right? I mean, that's what we do with books, right? We're learning stuff. And because I think so much of my life is in learning mode, that it just stays along with that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel like self-love to me. I think if I wrote every day, that would for me feel like self-love. Yeah.
Unless you're writing for work, then it would just feel like more work.
Totally. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, just for like the just for me's sake, Hello, Alan's here. Hey, Alan. He says hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's good to hear your observations. Oh, thanks. There's been a lot of observations between Michael and myself in this relationship, and then how to actually have healthy communication.
There sure has been.
Boy, howdy.
Wow.
Yeah, but like to have the healthy communication between them, like, I remember when Michael first told me, reflected back to me the honesty and the truth that, Jane, you're not giving yourself love when you do all of these things for me when I'm fully capable of doing them myself. So grateful that you said that. And it felt like a little bit like he hit me. I took it really personally in a not so positive way. I took it like, he doesn't want me to help him. And then I was like, he doesn't need your help, dummy. Conversations with myself. You ever say things and you realize you say them out loud and then you're like, oh, Freddie just heard that. That was one of it.
No, not really.
Yeah, okay, well, good for you. But when I realized that, and then I realized that I took it personally, because I was like, why does this feel bad? Why does this feel bad that my partner wants me to take time for me? Because I took that as you were pushing me away. That's how I took that. Even though I know you weren't, but like my own subconscious traumas and things were like, no, he's just pushing me away. Isn't that interesting? Am I the only one that does this? I know I'm not the only one. Oh, thank you, Alan, for your reflection. You're a good example for me. Hey, Lila, how are you doing? Is it snowy up there? I'm so very curious. She asked, how did you two meet? Oh, what about your connection makes it feel healthy to you? We met at an Ayurvedic workshop. It was a continuing education thing for my yoga teacher training stuff. And Michael went to it out of curiosity and eagerness to learn more stuff. And so that's where we met. We met at a yoga studio learning about Ayurveda. It was great. Which is funny because it's all about self-care. Ayurveda is about self-love and self-care, using the elements in nature to fuel what you do. Tina says that there's a new topic, conversations with myself. That's funny. It's true though. So,
Do you want to address the other part of Lila's comment?
oh, I forgot. What about the connection makes it feel healthy to you? I have many reasons. Do you want to share?
I'll let you go first.
Really?
Yeah, go for it.
Because we are completely and 110% honest and transparent. There have been times where one of us has not been transparent with the other, and that has led to blow ups, blowouts, breaks, fissures that needed to be healed and tended to. And through those communications and conversations, we learned that being 110% honest and transparent is key. Even those really deep feelings that are really vulnerable. Like, hey, when you say that, I feel stupid and ugly. I know you're not saying that. That's just my feelings. It reminds me when I was a kid, or whatever the case is. But being able to be that authentic about feelings, and not just that, but I think we have a healthy connection because we have unconditional love for each other. And I think we hold each other in a lot of compassion. That's what I'd say. Transparency, vulnerability, compassion. I really like him. I think he's really cute.
That's what you say.
I think you are. Yeah, you're so cute. I like so much. What about you? What do you think makes this a healthy connection?
What do I think makes this a healthy connection? The fact that we talk about everything, which pretty much goes into what you were saying about, we share everything openly and honestly. We really do share everything and communicate about everything. And sometimes that sometimes it takes a lot of work to communicate fully through something and come to a resolution. But we always do it. We communicate about it, about feelings, what we're thinking, until we both feel like it's resolved. And sometimes that looks like a blowout fight and then walking away and then coming back an hour later to reapproach the topic and finish it out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just looks like I say something and you share with me that when you say that, I feel a certain way. Okay. Noted. And then it's over.
Mm-hmm. I think a really great tool that we've used is the 4 agreements. I think that was like one of the first tools that we used to call each other out during these like healthy conversations. Because it would be like, you're taking this personally, or are you really doing your best right now? Or like one of those. I think that has really helped our connection be strong and get stronger. And I think that we're both committed to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's good for me may not be good for us. And so it gives me space to reevaluate if I really want to do it or not. And that's going back to the self-love. I think that that's where I kind of fall short, because it's like, if I feel that something is going to be good for me, then I immediately go into a lack mentality of then how will loving me hurt the team, as opposed to going into the abundant mindset of how is loving me going to serve the team. Like I instinctively don't go to how will self-love serve us. I go into, if I'm going to take this hour to myself, then what am I taking away from the relationship? None of that's real. It's all a mindset. So here's a question. How does trying to figure out how to word this, because it's on my mind and I'm trying to, okay, so I might just stumble over these words for a second. How or where does self-love how does self-love help your relationship? Like specific examples. I got to thinking about them recently after just an experience that Michael and I had that I'll share in a moment that kind of let me think, oh man, if I did that, if I did this, and this for myself, it will not only be an act of self-love, it also will strengthen our relationship. So yeah. Do you have an answer for that? Really? Really? For real? You don't have to. You forgot the question.
I did.
I know. You're such a turd. I knew it. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't remember the question.
Yeah, the question was so long ago. I was focused on what you were saying. I don't even remember what the question was.
I think that happens a lot.
It does.
I know.
It happens all the time.
I know. And then I forget the question. But it's a great question. It was something like, how can you see? Tina says I just said that I forgot the question too. It happens. Can we rewind this? We really can't. Oh, because it's live. How can like with like what specifically? What forms of self-love can support the relationship? Like what things can you do only for you that helps the relationship as a whole? For example, maybe you need a nap. Maybe self-love is a nap. And so if you take a nap, you know that the rest of the day between you and your relationship person is going to be easier because you have a clearer head, or you'll be able to stay up if they work late. So what self-love acts can you do for you that help the unit?
Would you like me to answer this now?
Yeah.
I think anything that I am called to do that doesn't directly hurt the team is going to help the team.
So what if you're called to lead for 2 weeks?
That hurts the team, obviously, because
You said anything that you're called to do.
anything that I am called to do that's not going to hurt the team.
Do you have anything
me going to take
specific?
a nap, me going to take a nap for an hour, not going to hurt the team. Me going to rock climb for 2 hours, it's not going to hurt the team. I mean, assuming we talked about it and you don't need help with something. But like taking time here and there to do things that I'm called to do for myself, read a book, take a bath, go for a run, that's going to have me showing up more for the team because I took care of my needs.
I think one of the most recent examples is something you did in the self-love department that I think really served you and us was when you went hiking,
Mm-hmm.
And you started that, like the app thing to be able to share it and all that. I think that was for you.
Mm-hmm.
It lit you up. It made you feel good. You reconnected with a lot of stuff. You were able to do your own healing walk and all that stuff that the hiking was for you. I think that act of self-love was supportive of you and the team.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Although I was extremely jealous because I couldn't join. I really was. I was happy that I couldn't join for the reasons that I couldn't join, and so bummed. It happens though. It happens. I'm so curious. Do you all have any examples of like self-love that you do that directly supports the team? I'm very curious. Hello, Sarah Catherine. How are you doing? I'm happy you're here.
Oh, I just thought of one.
Ooh, what?
I shower like every day. And it's a form of self-love and it supports the team.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you think if we weren't in a relationship, you would still shower every day because you love to do it?
I love to do it,
Then
but it's something I would do every day
not
just to
the
take
same.
care of my body.
Nope, not the same. I'm talking like self-love is different than self-care. Taking a shower is self-care. Self-love is when you do for you, boo, just because you love it. You know, it's like Tina says, I thought showering was an expectation. It's one of the 4 agreements to not have expectations. However, it's highly encouraged. Thank you. It really is encouraged, but you know, I can hold my breath when I sleep. I really can't. So here's an example that an act of self-love. So I like 5 love languages. I know we haven't really talked about it, but one of them is physical touch. I love being touched. Like, give me a massage on my shoulders. I'm like putty. But there's this other type of touch that literally takes my nervous system into chill the F out mode and I just calm down. It feels so good and so relaxing. And it's just a light touch. So whenever Michael does that, I'm like, yes. And I literally just freeze. It just feels so good. And it's interesting because it's not a form of touch that I offer myself. I feel like
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way human beings are. Usually what they give is what they want to receive.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you don't really want to receive light touch.
I do it to you a lot, Michael. I do that to you all the time.
Do you?
Yes. Goober, just today when you were at the office and I went in there, literally, I just went in there and I went like that
Oh yeah, I
on your
remember
back
that time.
and I walked out. I do it all the time. I love it. I can't not do it because I love it so much. Goober. I'm going to read what you all are saying. And then I want to get back to all that. Tina says, ooh, this is cool. Says that Pam journals and it's just for her, but it helps us because she learns who and why she is. I do art and sometimes we do that together. Yes, I think journaling is a form of self-love. It can be a form of self-care too, of course. But there's something journaling just for journaling's sake, journaling just to get it out, not to show it to anyone, not to have I need to write 4 pages today. You know, this is my homework, but just doing it to do it because it feels good. That's a great example of self-love. And then whenever she does it, it's going to be a better dayscape for the 2 of you, you know, or the nightscape or whatever timeline it works with. Thank you for that one. And then like I noticed too, sometimes like I do art frequently, some type of creation, something. You don't much.
Not really. It's something I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
There's just other things that I tend to enjoy more.
Yes. And the times that we've done it together though have been really connecting. Mm-hmm. Those 2 times. Maybe 3.
Yeah, it was at least 3.
I think it was actually 3. But yeah, I think that those are really great examples of self-love and like how they can fit into relationships. And when your partner is doing something, say they're self-love journaling, right? For this example, you know, do you allow them whenever your partner's doing self-love stuff? Or do you say, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Why are you ignoring me? Because that's how I used to feel a lot of times. I don't think you do that, Tina. Joe says, I write a lot in my journal. Look at this, journalers. I write a lot in my journal for self-love, and it helps my relationship by organizing my thoughts and emotions and allows me to respond and show up clear in our relationship. Right? I thank you for sharing that. I feel like when we do self-love acts, we show up bigger, we show up brighter, we show up clearer, we show up in the relationship. You know, it's like Tina says, he would rather be rock climbing than doing art. Yeah, he would. And he does show up more when he does take that time for himself. You know, he may be gone for that 2 hours, filling up his cup, feeling his body, feeling his breath, connecting with something, making new friends, doing new things. And then when he comes back to the relationship, he is feeling already stronger, more creative, more agile. You know, he's got his hormones, he's got, you know, flowing all about, you know, his serotonin and dopamine have risen. You know, his oxygen levels have increased. So when he comes back to the relationship, he is clearer. What? What?
My oxygen levels have risen.
Yes.
So that when I come back to the relationship, I can breathe.
Yes. Well, whenever we, you know what I mean? It's true.
I know, it's just funny.
It's kind of like whenever I do pranayama, I'm way clearer headed for the relationship. Right? Because whenever we do big breathing, we blow off steam healthfully, instead of blowing up at the partner. You know? You know, it's interesting talking about like that I like this certain type of a touch. Have you ever learned from your partner or been inspired by your partner on ways to love yourself more? Because I am realizing a lot with like me asking Michael all the time, will you just touch me softly? Just touch me. That's so not it. Did you really just do that like that? Oh, lame a lotta, dude. But I can do that for myself, you know? So like what I'm learning is when I do self-love stuff, one, I know then what to ask for. Also, on the inverse side of that, when I allow Michael to fully love me because I'm open and vulnerable, like we talked about earlier with Lila, then I can realize, oh, I really like this type of a touch. I don't need him to do it for me to feel that love. I'm going to do it for myself. It's kind of like me making breakfast in the morning. I make it for him because I enjoy it. I also enjoy it for myself. And maybe if I don't feel like doing it, don't do it. But balancing self-love with extreme intention in relationships, I have had a challenge with in my life. I usually end up taking all my self-love and putting it on the back burner and taking it, piecemealing it when I can. Tina says, not picking on you, Michael. I so get it. Was okay with the rock climbing part, not good at the belaying. I'm glad I knew what that word was. That's a new learning for me. I feel very excited about that. So here's a question. How can you support my self-love practices more? When I have resistance to it. I mean, you know, I have
You're
resistance.
asking me this question?
Yeah.
This is what I've been trying to figure out for a good portion of the relationship.
Well, now I'm leaving and I'm asking you.
This is the thing I've been trying to solve for quite some time.
Do you all have any suggestions? Do you have any suggestions on how Michael can support me giving myself love? Not that I hate myself. It's not like that. Rather, I don't take nearly the amount of time to love me for like an hour a day. Just don't, you know? And even to the point where when it was like, okay, I'll go work out for this hour, it wasn't out of love. It was out of actually self-hatred. Like, I need to be thinner so that Michael loves me more or whatever. So it wasn't coming from a place of self-love at all. So Tina says, remind you to do it. You could remind me to do it.
I can. I feel like I have. I feel like that's what I normally do. I bring it into your awareness and remind you like, hey, when are you going to do something for Jane today or this week or this year? And I think the other, in my experience, the best way to show somebody or remind somebody to do something is to lead by example and do it, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I remind you from time to time, hey. So like, I don't know what else to do other than literally like dragging you by the hand into the bathtub and saying, get in the bathtub.
That's kind of been what
Put
it
your
takes.
damn phone down.
That's kind of been what it takes. So have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like I am,
and
like y'all, I am in resistance to it. I'm very aware. I don't want to be.
I'm not gonna do it for you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Like,
that would be
it's-
really weird if you shoved me in the bath and started scrubbing me. And you're like, "This is self-love." That would be really funny and probably a little uncomfortable. I think it would be rough. I want to read what the suggestions are. Oh yeah, Dean says, "Buy you new teas." That's always nice. And then this is what happens right before we hopped on. I got the water going. I was like, "Hey, Michael, do you want some tea?" And Lila says, even putting on a pot of tea for her when you notice she hasn't been drinking enough water that day. That is sweet. That is so sweet. You do a good bit of that.
Mhm.
Do. We make doo jokes. But I love that. I love that. Just noticing when someone hasn't done, especially self-care stuff, and supporting them in that way, Tina says that you could get a nervous gun. Do you mean like a Nerf gun? Yeah, the Nerf gun. Get a Nerf. I was like, what's a nervous gun? That sounds really bad. Okay. You can get a Nerf gun and shoot her with it to remind her.
Yeah. Maybe we can make it fun.
That would actually, I could dig that. I could totally get on board with that. Kim says, hi, yeah. She doesn't say that. I said, yeah. She said, sit with you and you both practice self-love together like a workout companion.
That's something that we don't do. I would like to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
And I envision that being like us both doing our own self-love thing, but being in the same vicinity, like in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something we do. The only time you're doing something that's not with me and we're in the same vicinity, it's work.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's a really great suggestion that I would like to explore and maybe come up with some like more ideas around that specifically for us. Like
Yeah,
tonight.
that's a great idea.
Can we do that tonight?
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim. Joe says, Jane, when you take time for investing in your self-love, it actually reinforces Michael's choice of loving you. I know, Joe. That's the thing. I know. It's so messed up. Like, I'm so hyper, like, friggin' aware that I am in resistance to self-love when I'm in relationship. I know the subconscious reasons why. I'm so aware of them. And I still don't like it. So I'm really grateful for your beautiful words, Joe. Dear God, I love it. I hate it. I love it. But you're so right. Like the more, like when he goes rock climbing, he does his self-love stuff. Like the bonus is that he gets the muscles, and the bonus is that he gets higher on the harder routes or whatever. Like those are the bonuses, right? But the way he shows up for me feels better. He feels more confident. He feels stronger in so many ways. And when I don't do self-love stuff, those are parts of me that aren't being tended to, that you don't get to see or experience and love as well. The parts of me that I love then open the door for him to love that part of me too. Sarah SK says acceptance for better or worse. That helps. It sure helps. I think that's actually one of the reasons why we have such a healthy connection is that like Michael accepts me when I am over giving to others and under giving to myself. Like he still accepts me whether he likes it or not. He accepts me when I accidentally kick him when I move. Sorry. Play is self-care, Tina says. Yes. I feel like, I don't know if it's just been us or if it's because of COVIDicus season, but play has dramatically changed. You know, because there's been so much, like, we wanted to go play tennis on the courts early COVID. They're open now. We couldn't even do that. They had the courts like taped off and crap. It was ridiculous. Darlene is here. Good evening. I'm happy you're here. Charles says, but then it'll be a whole thing about who's going to pick up the Nerf darts. I think it would be a race to get the darts back into the Nerf gun, actually. I'm going to load it back up.
I think if you don't do the self-care thing, that you should have to pick up the Nerf darts.
So whoever gets shot with the Nerf darts has to pick them up?
No, this is only for you. This is for your self-care. You don't get to use the Nerf gun.
Oh.
Or maybe that's what it is.
Wait, so you...
Maybe you can use the Nerf gun if you do some self-care.
And then I can just shoot you with it for my own reasons?
Sure.
Okay.
And if you don't do the thing, then you have to pick up the darts. If you do the thing for self-care, then I'll pick them up while you do the self-care thing.
Oh.
Sound like a deal?
That's working for me. I'm grooving on this.
So I'll be reminding you, and I'll be picking up the reminders.
I like that you turned it to self-care and not self-love.
Same thing.
No, it is not.
No?
No. A shower is
I
self-care.
consider it the same thing.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
That's love
different.
too.
You can love it, and it's like basic self-care. It's like brushing our teeth is self-care. You know, the fact that I will take a bath and and listen to good music, or listen to music that I want to listen to, or go to a concert that I want to go to. That's self-love. It is also self-care, but by and large, they're different, but they merge together, but they are different. I'm talking about self-love. And Kim says, and cook. You guys cook together. When we do cook together, that does make such a difference, I feel. Like that form of love, because we both love to do it and we both love to be together. So that's a really good self-love, like, to do together. I like that. And Joe says, I'm not the best to self-care, but I'm making vast strides because of my girlfriend's encouragement and wisdom. It really helps. See, I meant self-love, right? It really does make such a difference to have a partner who supports your self-love. You know, who doesn't say, what, you know, if you just put in another 5 hours at work, then you could get that done. You know, one that says, does it feel good to work for those extra 5 hours in your heart? If it doesn't, what can we do? How can I support you? How can I support your self-love? You know, let's explore new ways that feels good to you. You know, I think were you gonna say something? No. I definitely think that self-love needs to be in relationships. One, the self-love that only I can give me, that I need to be more conscious and aware and actionary in doing. Me honoring Michael's already in place continual self-love practices, and then creating a unit. Oh, you're turning on back the yard. It was so cute.
Can we stay focused on the subject here?
I love you so much.
I love you too.
I think that when we can make a self-love practice for the team, that's also extremely powerful. Take a deep breath. It prevents you from yawning so much. Self-love, you need a nap. True. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Why do you do that? Stop moving. Really? Come on, man. Please. Please. Boop, thanks. Anyway, thanks for being here with me and doing
Thanks for
this.
booping me on camera.
You're welcome. Thanks for holding in your yawn so beautifully. No one noticed.
They wouldn't have if you didn't give it away.
Oh, bull. If you all noticed he yawned, you can totally comment. Yeah. we saw that. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here and for participating and chiming in and offering your words of wisdom, not just for me, I'll say for Michael too. And for like everyone else that watches this, that's a part of this, like, thank you for your words of inspiration and what works for you and what doesn't work for you and what your partners do and what you do and all that stuff. What?
Nothing.
Oh, you're such a goober. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. The top of the hour is here, and that means that we gotta go. But continue loving yourself. Let your partner love you. Take your time away from your partner to love you, please. And then come back together and see how much love the two of you can make together. Double entendre. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Continue taking care of yourselves and each other, y'all. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, y'all.
Okay. Bye, y'all. See you all Monday. Okay, bye.